hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. August the 3rd, Sunday is here. And we got some links regarding Arsenal. Unfortunately, it's nothing too exciting. It's more for the future and everything, although there are some links and potential players leaving, although I don't see it happening. Somehow I don't see it happening. There are some links with some new players coming in. Then again, I don't see it happening as of now. So this is a weird one. Regarding Eze, it's quite silent, even though there are rumors suggesting that Arsenal are going to go in for Eze with 52 million bids sometime soon. We'll see whether it's going to happen or not. But at the moment, until I see it, I'm worried about it. And I'm not going to actually put it out there. But I hope Arsenal do it soon, because I want to see what Arsenal does regarding Eze, because the release clauses have run out. It's not 65 million or 68 million anymore. We can try to pay less. If Crystal Palace accept, that is a different story. They can also demand more. So obviously time only will tell. But yeah, Kiwior could be sold, which is an interesting one. Didn't expect that, even though there are some contradicting rumors. Let's just put it that way. We're going to talk about them in a second. New center back links, again, one for the future. We'll see how that goes, because Arsenal apparently are preparing for somebody leaving. So that is one, again, for the future. And still the fact remains, Premier League kicks off in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. We need to act now. Because the longer we drag this out, the more days passes, the closer we are to Premier League kicking off, and we are in a disadvantage. Let's just put it that way. So we're going to talk about all that. Smash the likes if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new around here. And don't forget to leave your thoughts down in the live chat so we can tackle them, discuss them, and go from there. Big up, Gavin. Hope you're doing well today, my guy. Hope Sunday is treating you well. Hope you have had a good time, good situations and everything. Nothing is bothering too much. But now we're gonna kick things off with Jakub Kiwior, ironically enough. Yes, Jakub Kiwior. Kiwior the guy. Kiwior the man. Is Kiwi ripe? That is the big question. Is Kiwi ripe? That is the big question regarding Jakub Kiwior at the moment, that is surrounding Arsenal's fan base in terms of sales, because whenever he plays, there is this question, is Kiwi ripe? Will he play good? Right now, regarding transfers, it's somewhat similar. Is Kiwi ripe in terms of him getting sold? Because I know that there are many people who don't want to see him leave. 100%. I know there are some people even in this chat who don't want to see him leave. So we're gonna talk about that, because Kiwior is an interesting one. Sorry, I need to do this. Kiwior is an interesting one, because if he leaves, I can see the frustration why. If he stays, I also can see the frustration why. But then again, if he leaves, I can see the reasons why. And if he stays, I can see also positives of that. Kiwior is a bit of an interesting one. Obviously, to some extent, if you look at this, you could look at it in terms of Kiwior had a very decent end of last season. As soon as Gabriel got injured, he stepped in, and he looked actually very decent, I'm not going to lie. So if you want to sell him, this would be the best time to do it, because you should strike whilst the iron is hot, as they say, right? So in those terms, I absolutely understand Jakub Kiwior potentially being on the market and him getting sold. Then again, if we sell Jakub Kiwior, obviously that would indicate that the left side of the center back spot is kind of reserved for Ricardo Calafiori, if you put it that way. Because we have seen him as a left back, we have also seen him as a center back, and at center back, he actually looks much better than as a left back. So hence why that kind of raises the question, is there a reason to kind of keep even Jakub Kiwior if there's a possibility that we can make, let's just say, 15 to 20 million profit on him? That is the big question right now, because no matter how you look at it, it feels like Arsenal are in this situation that they need to sell some players to buy some players. So you have obviously the usual suspects, which Arsenal could try and sell, your Reece Nelson, Zinchenko, Vieira, potentially Kiwior, and players like that. And you could argue that of all the players, Kiwior actually has the highest value at the moment. Because, as I said, he had a very decent end of last season when Gabriel got injured. He went in there and he did somewhat decent. So obviously, I had my own reservations, but he actually did some very decently. So there is also that situation that he could actually do the right things, and he actually could get us some Money, big up AJ. Hope you're doing well today, my guy. Hope Sunday is treating you well. People, like the stream if you haven't already, and subscribe if you are new around here. Helps a lot as well. You big ones. Big up Everest, resident Liverpool fan in the house. Looks like Liverpool is treating you well. It also, I'm also reading you might go in for another record bid in for Isak. Whether it's going to happen or not, obviously remains to be seen. But it is looking very interesting, especially given the fact that there are talks that Newcastle have put in an 80 million bid for Sesko, which also apparently Leipzig have rejected, the greedy pricks. Let's be real. So it looks like there could be something. If Newcastle secures Sesko, it looks like also Isak could be on the way out to Liverpool. Yeah, people, like on your way in. Big up everyone. Big up Marlon. Hope you're doing well today. But yeah, we're going to kick things off today with Jakub Kiwior, Marlon's favorite player. Marlon's favorite player at Arsenal at the moment is Jakub Kiwior. So it's very interesting that we're going to do this. We definitely going to do this. According to Fabrizio Romano, I understand that Kiwior's future remains open, with several clubs keen on signing the center back, which is very interesting, I'm not going to lie. Arteta would prefer to keep Jakub Kiwior. Arsenal already rejected the proposal from Portugal in July, up to the player with the desire to play play more as a possible factor. And that for me now is the biggest thing. With Gabriel being out, Kiwior stepped in and had a very decent run, I'm not going to lie, which now raises the big question. Do we keep him or do we sell him? Because you could argue his value might, at the moment, could be the highest one possible at this stage. Because he had decent season, part of the season, he has been decent, so you could actually try and potentially strike whilst the iron is hot, as they say, basically with increased value. Also, with the talk about the fact that he wants more game time, and obviously he's not the number one. Gabriel is the number one. You could also see the reasoning behind the fact that he himself potentially would want to go out. Obviously, with Kiwior, the biggest thing about Kiwior still, he is accident prone. Let's just put it that way. He has these situations where he can have some great performances during games, but it takes one situation where he gets caught out of position, where he basically falls asleep sometimes. You can see it happening even when he has great performances during games. And that leads to a dangerous momentum or a goal even. So that for me is the only drawback I have at the moment with Jakub Kiwior, because his passing is actually fantastic, I'm not going to lie. And with Calafiori here, I would see also people make an argument that we should sell Calafiori because he's too injury prone. He's not a left back. But if Arsenal actually use him as a left-sided center back, yeah, right, the Calafiori, then again, Kiwior actually falls down the pecking order, you could argue, in Mikel Arteta's eyes at least. So that at the moment is the biggest talk about this situation all over the place. Player Arsenal is Saka and Gabriel. Big up to you. I just respect Kiwi's hard work. Yeah, you could, but he also, if you respect his mentality, then you should respect also his desire to play more and him wanting to leave and getting sold. Not stir up some arguments in the chat that we should not sell him. It's his choice at the moment. Big up, yeah, AJ. Big up for shout out. Big up. Subscribe to Everest as well. Liverpool fan and everything. Go for it, people. Sell Calafiori, keep Kiwior is what I would want to do. I can see that argument 100%. 100% I can see this argument because Kiwior actually is not injury prone, first of all. Second of all, as well, like, at center back, Kiwior is decent. At left back, he's suspect. Also, same goes for Calafiori. Let's be real. At left back, he's suspect. At center back, he's actually very decent to some extent, right? Well, I would love to see more Calafiori as a left center back role. So that would also maybe give us some more material, basically, where we could weigh out our options between Kiwior and Calafiori. Definitely would say just that. But at the moment, Calafiori, with his injury record, is a very, very big worry. Let's just put it that way regarding Arsenal. Keep Gabriel needs rest. Remember, fully recovered. Yeah, he's not fully recovered as well. Yeah. Kiwior feels him well. Exactly. He did that last season. That is 100% truth. He actually did that. He surprised pretty much every single Arsenal fan. Let's be real. But again, knowing Arsenal, I wouldn't be surprised. Big up, Pee-wee. Big up. Hope you're doing well. Love bucket to you as well, my man. 8 likes, people. Big up to you all. Keep liking and subscribing. Calafiori is just Italian Tomiyasu. I would only sell Kiwior. That means Eze is definitely getting done. And that would be the biggest thing. If that is the case, I would sell Kiwior then. Definitely would sell Kiwior then. But then you kind of sit here and look at these things about reports regarding Kiwior. You see this, obviously. Arsenal rejected an offer from Portugal for Jakub Kiwior in July, with Mikel Arteta preferring to keep the defender, which obviously would be a good thing in terms of having some depth at center back spot. He has proven that he actually has been somewhat decent, let's be real. The issue with this is, though, he himself as a player wants more game time, because let's be real, the more you play, the better you perform, the more you get confidence, the more you build up your aura, let's just put it that way, and you want to start yourself. And at Arsenal, let's be real, he's not starting. Once Gabriel gets fit, he's again holding bench pretty much every single game until Gabriel gets subbed off for one odd game to give him some rest time, or he gets injured once again. One of the two options. Let's be real, because Mikel Arteta likes to have a certainty on the starting 11, and Kiwior definitely, to some extent, doesn't provide that. Then you have this stuff going on, which I don't trust whatsoever. But hey, it's being talked about that Arsenal so far have rejected over 7 proposals for Jakub Kiwior, key part of the squad, apparently. Now, who the hell is this guy? I have no idea. Maybe he's spewing some BS just out, let's be real. Kiwior fully focused on Arsenal project, although Camp is exploring options in Italy and Saudi Arabia, which is a very interesting one. No club as of now is matching the valuation of 45 million pounds, 45 million pounds for Jakub Kiwior. Given that we paid him about 25 million pounds, that would actually be a very nice sell. Because if we manage to sell him for 40 to 45 million, I would like to think that Eze gets done no matter what. Like, that would guarantee us Eze signing. At least that I would love to think that way. Definitely would love to think that way. But obviously, Arsenal still are aiming to keep the guy, of course, no matter how you look at it. Because after last year's performances, you could argue that he actually has cemented at least his role as the number 1 backup for Gabriel, and maybe actually kind of has fought his way into starting 11 in more games up in the upcoming season. At least you could think that, and you could see it that way. The thing is, though, does Mikel Arteta see it that way? Because we all know that Mikel Arteta wants a specific starting 11. He doesn't want to change it too much. He wants the center-back pairing of Saliba and Gabriel pretty much every single game because they work well with each other. They complement each other to the maximum extent. And we all saw that when Kiwior was next to Saliba, Saliba looked a bit out of sorts. Like, let's just put it that way. He made some rookie mistakes, which he usually doesn't make when Gabriel is next to him. Whether it's that due to the Kiwior situation or not, obviously we don't know. But obviously he looked more shaky than he has been when Gabriel was next to him. Let's just put it that way. Big up, people. Big up. I would sell, yeah, definitely. Big up, Nally. Hope you're doing well today. Big up. Why did we buy NordVPN when Paulinho was available on loan? Isn't it a loan with obligation to buy? Isn't that with a loan with obligation to buy? Because if I'm not mistaken, the situation about Paulinho, yeah, is an obligation to buy. If I'm not mistaken. The João Paulinho situation is a loan with obligation to buy. And Arsenal don't want this obligation to buy. If they would have even got him on the loan, that would be an option to buy. At best, because they don't want to buy him. It at least feels that way. Plus, it's about 25 million to buy him. Arsenal paid, 15 for Norgard? Again, I think that is in those terms. Arsenal just wanted to save some penny, let's just put it that way, and everything. Big up, Walter. Please, Gunnar, don't sell Kiwior. Himbe. Please don't sell Kiwior. What? I understand the don't sell Kiwior thing. What is him better? That I don't understand. Big up Erosa Mikel music in the building. The Mikel Whisperer is in the house, aka Eros. Hope you're doing well today, my guy. Hope you're being treated well. Hope Sunday has treated you well. So hopefully everything is going for you according to plan today as well. We're going to talk about Eze in a second. We're going to talk about some other players right now. Now, yeah, Kiwior. What else are people saying about everyone? Big up, Sean. Hope you're doing well today, my guy. We can't sell Kiwior. Calafiori is too injury prone, and God forbid Gabriel gets injured once again. To be like, yeah, if the rumors are true that Gabriel has suffered a setback in the recovery of his his hamstring and everything, or ACL, whatever he had, I forgot, ACL or hamstring, I forgot right now, on top of my head. Then we have to keep him. Also, it means Zinchenko probably stays at as Miles Lewis Kelly cover. Like, that is the case. That is the biggest question, how that could work. How that would work. Because if we sell Kiwior, Calafiori has to be at center back cover as well. And given his injury history so far in 1 year just at Arsenal and overall his career, it definitely is a massive gamble that Arsenal definitely will basically get the short end of the stick. Let's just put it that way. Big up to you all, by the way. 17 people in here. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, people. Big up, Richard. I find it astonishing that we have not made any sales so far and why we have been standing still since Gyökeres signing. Yeah, that is also an interesting part because we haven't sold anyone this summer. Anyone. We have terminated on mutual agreement, let's just put it that way, Tomiyasu's contract, and Tavares was sold already last summer. It was a loan with obligation to buy. So technically this summer, we have not sold anyone whatsoever. And now that we have signed Gyökeres, it's a very silent situation regarding Arsenal transfers. It literally looks like we need to sell to buy business at the moment. And that definitely is not a good sign. We have spent 200-something million right now, or near that. And we are already in need to sell to buy type of situation. It definitely is not a good look. Definitely is not a good look if you look in terms of Arsenal and getting extra signings and looking for the future other signings to fill in the squad. Let's just put it that way. Big up, Drake. Hope you're doing well. In January, they said Kiwior is leaving, even on mutual terms said so. Those were the rumors. But after his stint when Magalhaes got injured, those stories died down. Yeah, because he actually had a very good stint. But obviously, as they say, Kiwior, Arsenal want to keep Kiwior. But the biggest thing about Kiwior is he has the desire to play more. And obviously, with the stint he had already at Arsenal when Gabriel was injured, where he actually had very decent time, where he actually was very decent, let's be real, I can see his confidence and his excitement growing on potential starting role. But as we all know that Gabriel is the number one. And as soon as he comes back from injury, he's going to hold the bench quite emphatically, let's be real. And he's not going to get game time. If he went to, like, let's just say, even Portugal, to Serie A, to teams like that, like Napoli, AC Milan, there's a big possibility he starts in most of those teams for quite a bit, especially in teams that play three at the back. And Kiwior is very good in a three at the back formation as a left-sided center back, just like Calafiori is. I can see that being a very big pull for him if there is a proper bid and Arsenal actually decide to sell him. I can see that being a very big factor for him specifically. Plus, he's not on high wages at Arsenal, which means it would be an easier sell than, for example, Zinchenko or Calafiori in general. But then again, if we sell him, it means we are selling ourselves short a bit in those terms. Then again, today we apparently are linked with this guy, who I know absolutely nothing about. Arsenal have made initial contact to show interest in French 19-year-old center back Jérémy Jacquet. No idea who that is. Arsenal like Jacquet, who knows, who recently signed a new deal at Rennes or Stade Rennais until June 2029. He is on the list as option in case of exits this month or eventually for 2026. So is that a replacement for... Where does he even play? Serious talk, I don't know genuinely nothing about this guy. I need to check Transfermarkt. So I just know something about this guy. So he's 20 years old. He's 190, so he's 6'4". He can play either center back position, basically. He can play either side. He played in Ligue 1 last season, 18 games, 2 assists, and pretty much played every single game from bell to bell. Very, very, very interesting. He's valued at around 10 to 20 million euros in that grab. That's about it. That's all I can see and find out right about now. If anyone knows and anyone watches Ligue 1 to maybe more regular basis, maybe you can shed some light. Is he good? Is he bad? Or is it what? What's happening with him? Big up, George. Hope you're doing well. Hopefully, as I joins, exactly. Please hit the likes and subscribe, everyone. Listen to Eros. Please hit the likes and subscribe. Big up, people. Big up. 18 of you in here. Phenomenal numbers. I think Norgard's actually not a bad signing, especially for when we have cup games where we need to finish off a game. Yeah, that could be the case. He's a workhorse with a somewhat good engine. So in those terms, he actually could be very, very decent. Big up, Jackie. Hope you're doing well. Big up, big up, big up. Not to the sale. Kiwior is sold in and good cover for Gabi. 100% true. 100% true. But if there is still that situation that he wants some game time, he wants maybe an increased role, at Arsenal, he's not going to get it as long as Gabriel is here. So we will have to wait and see if Gabriel leaves or he gets injured again. Those are the only two options how Kiwior could even get increased role. And even then, I would make an argument that Arsenal will going to go for a different center back, an established one already, like a high-end profile one. Deal for Eze is already done or not? Nope, not done. Not even a bid yet. Not even a bid yet by the Walter, unfortunately. I heard party to Villarreal. We'll see. We'll see. Big up at getting Newcastle in the building. Good luck with Sesko and all them, man. I have a feeling that that a few players will go out on loan, but Arteta probably wants to keep some of the players that need to go because we haven't really added to the squad besides Gyökeres. And to be honest, that is the case. Well, technically, players who have come back from loans from last season, they are added to the squad, but ultimately, nothing. Genuinely nothing. The only player that has come in, not as player-per-player replacement, per se, is Gyökeres. Rest of them, like Madueke, Sterling, right? Norgard, Jorginho, Zubimendi, Partey, Mosquera, Tomiyasu, Kepa, Neto. It's been 1-per-1 change, so we are at the same spot where we began. Gyökeres has been the only one who actually has been an addition to the team, per se. So there could be just some loans, or loans in as well. Big up, Mahbats. Hope you're doing well. Do we have enough depth to get rid of Kiwior? No, we don't. Calafiori's injury record would suggest we genuinely have nothing. Let's just put it that way with his injury record. In an ideal world, we sign Gehi. Yeah, in an ideal world, we could. But I'm not so sure Gehi would come to Arsenal because with the World Cup year coming up and him being an England international, not sure he would want to hold the bench for 90% of the time. That is the other story. Unless we play 3 at the back, maybe then he can get into that. 45 million or 50 as well for Gehi. What we at the moment are lacking as well is good cross from our defenders, and Kiwior by far does it the best. 100% true. If we still had Tierney, he would be the number one option for me from defenders to cross the ball. Since Tierney has gone, ironically enough, it's Kiwior who has the best cross. Let's just put it that way. Just look at the assist to Saka and AC Milan friendly. Fantastic pass. One-touch passes. Kiwior is actually very good at that. Very good at that. Again, defender. Can him not? Yeah, it's defenders. Statistically, Jacquet led all under 21 defenders in the top 7 European leagues in progressive action rating, I assume, not rat, because rat is a different story. But if that is the case, no wonder Arsenal are interested in him, because we need some more progressive players defensively as well. But Paulinho and player action, yeah, that is true. But hey, why would Villarreal give Partey a chance? True. Link with some more seats. It's not a seat sack. He's one for the future. Let's just put it that way. It's like for this one, I'm not gonna get pissed off because this is more if we sell someone, because he's on the list in case we sell a defender this window in this month specifically, and he's a defender if we eventually in 2026 sell someone, or we just gonna sign him in 2026. It's not like we're gonna go for him 100%. It's more like depends on outgoings, and I think he's gonna be also much cheaper. Big up Hendon Gunner. Hope you're doing well. Looks like James Maddison could be out for the season with another bad knee injury picked up in Spurs' Newcastle friendly today. Man, that guy. Such a shame, to be honest. He actually is a very, very good player. It's just that the injuries are killing him off, literally. Big up, Hendon. Please, Robot, don't tell me that we have more like concrete talks with defenders than Eze. We did. Because reports are coming out that we haven't reached out to this camp. We haven't. But there are rumors suggesting that Arsenal are going to put in like a 52 million bid for him. There are some rumors suggesting that. Whether it's that going to happen, we need to wait till next week and see, basically. Maybe next week we're going to see something. Maybe not. Who knows? Genuinely, who knows? Lookman is available. Yeah, he is. He has handed in transfer request himself, by the way, to Atalanta because he wants to move. Odds that Arsenal are actually going in for him. Odds on that Arsenal will go in. 2 weeks till we start our season. We are in no position to sit around and wait. We need to be proactive. We need to act now. There is no time to waste at the moment. Let's be real. Because as soon as the season kicks off and we still haven't done our business, we are starting a season one step behind other teams who have done their business. Let's be real. Because they have had time. We will still have to. The player needs to come, adjust to the league and everything. It's gonna be a while. Concrete FC, pretty much, yeah. Concrete FC and all this stuff. But yeah, besides that, there is nothing regarding Jux. But there is something. Here is how desperate Arsenal fans are for Eze. Here it is. Is Bukayo Saka dropping a hint on Eberechi Eze to Arsenal via his Instagram story? And basically it shows an image of Bukayo Saka, and there is Eberechi Eze's whatever that is, a bag or a book or something like that in the background. Is that Saka screaming for the club to sign Eze? Is that something we're doing here? Is that an indication that he's getting signed, that we will sign him? Go figure. Because this is starting to get a bit wild from these days. Because we as a fan base, we have been left starved and desperate for signings for the longest time. Hence also why, to some extent, we tend to look too deep into this stuff. Then again, you cannot help but wonder. Let's be real. You cannot help but wonder. Brentford want Trossard. Let's get Visa. Yeah, just swap deal. Do it. Done. Let's just give him Trossard 25 million and we get Visa. Job done. 50 million. Yeah, like usual, one step behind. Exactly. Fail to prepare to fail. Story of our lives at Asna. Yeah, basically 100%. I'm not even angry with Norgard, but when Paulinho was available for loan, that just makes more sense. True, but isn't Paulinho with loan with obligation to buy next season for 20 something million, 25, 26 million? Isn't something like that for him, isn't it? Isn't like that? Like seriously, because if it is like that, Arsenal would not ever get him. Let's be real. Arsenal would never got in for him. Joins initial loan, salary covered by option, not mandatory. You see, this is very interesting right now, because this now is a bit different. Because official confirmed João Paulinho joins Spurs on initial loan from Bayern. Salary covered by Spurs, obviously, and 30 million by option. 25 million pounds, 26 million pounds by option clause, not mandatory. Which now obviously puts this stuff on the table and kind of makes you wonder to some extent whether signing Paulinho actually would have not been that bad of a thing. Let's be real, because we wanted Paulinho when he actually was at Fulham like 2 or 3 seasons ago, when he was balling out there. We actually were linked with him quite a bit, and we didn't get him. Now he's out of sorts at Bayern Munich with Vincent Kompany, so he's looking for a way out. Let's be real. Now, the big question is, and the biggest situation regarding this is, that if we actually would sign him on loan and didn't buy him with the option to buy, we would still need to sign someone for that number 6 role in general. That for me is the other concern. Paulinho is also 30 years old. 30 years old, which is very interesting. I'm not gonna lie. Very, very, very interesting if we are looking at it that way. But yeah, back to Eze. Would that be a very good situation? Would this be true? Is this true? Is Bukayo Saka pleading to Arsenal to sign Eze? Is that confirmation that Arsenal are gonna sign Eze? Whether it's just random picture, genuinely go and figure it out. Do you believe the rumors that Eze told his teammates that he's joining us in transfer window is just there to make? I think it's fake news. I genuinely think it's fake news because I don't trust this stuff. I genuinely don't trust this stuff anymore. I have seen it too many times regarding Arsenal, regarding different clubs, and about 95% of the time it has been fake news. So for me, until it's somewhat confirmed by credible sources, let's just put it that way, definitely not going to get dragged into that one. Then again, if you kind of try to be a conspiracy theorist, right? Dre, I'm talking to you more specifically here. Obviously, with the chat and everyone watching, big up to you all. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. But if you look at conspiracy theories, Eze tells his teammates he's joining Arsenal. Then Saka puts this image out and everything, right? Eze has openly admitted he wouldn't mind joining Arsenal. Personal terms is not an issue, right? Then again, you may even say that, well, it's going to happen. You might as well think it that way then. Like, it's all conspiracies to some extent. It's just speculation. 16 likes, people. Let's go. If we can do this if we can push it to 20 or 30 likes, I would be forever grateful. Big up, people. Big up, big up, big up. Big up, Mubarak. Hope you're doing well. Well, for me, I think in terms of defensive, Arsenal is not bad, but around in the midfield, Arsenal needs to strengthen with their player caliber like Bruno. We should have signed Bruno Guimaraes when we had the chance. We are not getting him now. That for me is I still think our midfield is lacking. Left 8 obviously for us is lacking in my opinion, because if we signed a proper left 8 who we can play in an advanced role in the 10, as we usually do where we play Declan Rice, we could put Declan Rice in the 6 and that actually would work, or play double pivot as we have been talking in the past few streams, 2 6s, Rice and Zubimendi next to each other. I think that could work. But the way we are playing right now, we are demanding Rice to play a role which he is not made for. And hence you can see a potential in that role that could be unlocked if we signed a proper player in that role, a specific type of player. And unfortunately, Arsenal are not doing that. We have signed Rice and we're going to stick by it, I guess. Yeah, big up, George. Big up, big up, big up. But yeah, it's very interesting how that works, how everything is going in those terms. Anything else regarding Arsenal? Because Arsenal news are quite bleak these days. Very, very bleak these days. For me, that is the biggest issue here. Arsenal news, since Gyökeres signing and we flying us home, obviously from Hong Kong, it's a very short end of stick, especially since Andrea Berta also traveled with Gyökeres to Hong Kong. It's a bit of a different situation, isn't it? And that is the biggest thing. That is the biggest thing. Apparently, Arsenal are going to sign this Jeremy Roque, that French player, in case of an exit of Zinchenko or Jakub Kiwior. One of the two, if they leave, they apparently are going in for Jacques. Then again, Rennes don't want to sell, so we'll see how that's going to go. We're generally going to see how that's going to go. Picture on X, kind of. But yeah, midfield, sorry. Okay. Who said this? Who said this and everyone dismissed it? Because this is actually true. This is actually true. Sorry if anyone dismissed it. There was someone who mentioned this. Thomas Partey is set to join Villarreal as a free agent. The Gunners face his new side on Wednesday, the day after he's due to appear. I'm not reading the second part, but hey, it's a bit different story. Hey. So do you feel like this narrative more of him reuniting with Arsenal is actually the main reason why we keep on pushing this story or for us? I think that's definitely part of it, because I think he's an ex-Haaland. I think he wants Arsenal himself. I think he has the chip on his shoulders because he was absolutely devastated about the fact that he got cut from the academy because he was thinking he was good enough. And let's be real, you would say he actually is. Maybe not under Arteta, maybe under a different manager, but he definitely would be good enough. At the same time, you cannot help but wonder. You genuinely cannot help but wonder. Genuinely, you cannot. No bid for Eze yet makes too much sense. Yeah. Big up, Darren. Hope you're doing well today, my guy. Big up, big up, big up, big up. Big up, Darren. Hope you had a fantastic Sunday. Arsenal doing Arsenal things? Well, pretty much, yeah. Send them both to DC United. Maybe. But yeah, apparently Partey is set to join Villarreal. Will he play the Emirates Cup? That is the big question, given the second part of this, right? Where he is the day after he's due to appear in some certain situations and all this stuff. Will he play? Genuinely, will he play? That is now the big question. Serious talk. Will he play? Will he play? Eze wants us. Yeah, Eze has said himself that he is willing to join Arsenal without shadow of a doubt. That I can believe. He has said it openly in an interview as well. We need him. That is fact as well. It needs to happen because we are going to be screwed if we strengthen in midfield. We are screwed if we don't strengthen our left wing number 10 spots. 100% true. In my opinion, if we don't sign a left wing and the number 10, we are screwed. 100%. Also, I would argue we need a left back. I still believe we need 3 signings. A left wing, a midfielder, and a left back. Don't see Arsenal doing that. At worst, we need to sign 2. So left wing number 10. With left back, we maybe can manage. But in that number 10 and left wing spot, we definitely are too short. Definitely are too short, 100%. I totally get you. Absolutely get you. Anything else? Academy, talent, champions, Metal, Arsenal are not expected to wear their new third kit in either of the preseason games against Villarreal or Athletic. Who cares? Fabrizio Romano confirms Arsenal have moved for wonder kid Jeremy Jock. That's nothing new. Arsenal rejected bids for Kiwior. Arsenal are soft launching the kit on Monday. Tomorrow we are launching the white kit, by the way, people, if you didn't know. Arsenal conclude the Gabriel Magalhaes hamstring injury investigation. What's there to investigate? Arsenal investigation into Gabriel Magalhaes' hamstring injury has reached its conclusion, with the club identifying significant concerns about player workloads following the international duty. Oh, how tables have changed. Some stuff we've been saying for, well, let's be real, years, all of a sudden is now an issue. Workloads following international duty. The Brazilian center-back suffered the injury during Arsenal's match against Fulham in April, a setback that contributed to the Gunners' late-season struggles. Well, that he wasn't part of the struggle, let's be real. The whole squad was, well, it is what it is in the attack specifically. According to ESPN, the most trustworthy source in the world, internal analysis revealed that Gabriel reached sprint speeds against Fulham that he hadn't achieved in 2 months prior to his international commitment with Brazil. This discovery has prompted Arsenal to reassess their training protocols and monitoring systems for players returning from international team duty. Holy crap. Anything else here? The injury investigation forms part of a broader review at Emirates Stadium, with club officials recognizing that poor player availability significantly hampered their title chances last season. Who would have thought that injuries will be an issue in challenging for titles? Oh, bloody hell. Only 3 years too late. An extensive list of Tomiyasu, Jesus, Ben White, Bukayo Saka, Kai Havertz, Jurgen Timber all joined Gabriel in undergoing surgery last campaign. Yeah, 100%. The findings have directly influenced Arsenal's summer transfer strategy, with the club prioritizing players who demonstrated strong availability records throughout their careers. Noni Madueke missed just 13 games for Chelsea since arrival in 2023, while Victor Gyökeres also boasts an incredible injury record throughout his career. This approach, coupled with the desire of signing fringe players such as Christian Mosquera, Christian Norgard, reflects Mikel Arteta's desire to build a strong squad filled with players who are of the required level. Despite meticulous planning and improved protocols, Arsenal do still acknowledge that some injury occurrences remain unavoidable. The club accepts that luck plays a role in players' fitness, regardless of how comprehensive their preparations become. The Brazilian defender continues his rehabilitation, but Mikel Arteta does expect him to be fit for the Premier League opener as Arsenal travel to United. Before then, Gabriel may be in contention to face both Villarreal and Athletic Bilbao games during next week. Holy crap, that was a load to read and a half, people. Now, where was I in the chat now? I totally have lost myself. Here we go. Party only preparing one. I see what you did there, Hendon. Eze, Lookman, Visa, Anthony, Robinson, then we are actually ready for the season. True. Gabriel is screwed. Oh, yeah. Also, I wouldn't have minded us bringing Jakub back from Leverkusen. Going to Sunderland with possibility of relegation is bizarre to me. True. Kind of makes no sense, but they got pretty 25 million, so I guess Arsenal will definitely not pay that, though, will they? Of course. Blame international duty and not Arteta overworking the players. Exactly. Because let's be real, at the club they play 40 to, let's just say 50 odd games a season, if not 60 nearly. Then you only 50 to 60 games you play per club. Then you only add the rest of the games. Let's be real. And war is wet, of course. Yeah. Jaka told us all to F off them. Yeah, he did that. Why are you laughing at me? What did I do? What the hell did I do? Explain this to me. As a DC United failure fan, explain this to me. I know you have Benteke up top. That is definitely going to win you a title. Fulham still want Nelson, use him as a Robinson make-weight. Potentially, yeah. Guaranteed there will be a setback. Oh, 100%. Like, it has been there already, by the way. So that is a completely different story. There has been a setback already, and it's definitely going to be there. Definitely is going to be there. Where is... But yeah, Calafiori. Wait, I want to check something because this is bothering me. So Mikel Arteta Arsenal did some extensive knowledge. So Victor Gyökeres also boasts an incredible injury record throughout his career. Let's check this because I'm kind of curious about this. I'm kind of confused. Where is the injury history for Calafiori? Oh, sorry, Gyökeres. Not bad. Has missed only 5 games in his life. In his career, Gyökeres has missed only 5 games of football. That is actually phenomenal numbers. And that was only at Sporting. And the nuts part is, one of the games he missed was only due to a rest in super dense schedule. That's about it. That's actually kind of insane. Yeah, he's missed only 4 games. 2 for Sweden, 2 for Sporting. That's about it. That's actually some phenomenal numbers, I'm not going to lie. Who else is there? Noni Madueke at Chelsea. Let's go for the next one. I want to see if this what's its face article chat shit or it is true. Well, okay, what did it say? Noni Madueke missed just 13 games for Chelsea since arrival in 2023, right? So how about the games before Chelsea? Serious talk. How about the games before he joined Chelsea? Chelsea. How about those games? Those games don't count, right? Seriously, those games don't count. I don't count. Rest injuries was like 3. Yeah, but what about this one? They say Mosquera also have a clean injury record. Yeah, he has. Yeah, Mosquera has no injuries whatsoever. 0 injuries. The article clearly states that he has missed 13 games only for Chelsea. Right? Which seems fantastic. So why they do not mention the games he missed for PSV? Why does that is not included into this? Because if we look at this, Noni Madueke just missed 13 games since his arrival in 2023. He has demonstrated strong availability records through his career. Now, if you look at this, factually, it's true. Since joining Chelsea, he has only missed 13 games. But how about the games before when he was at PSV? Why is that not included? Because if you look at PSV, he has missed 20 games one season. Then he has missed about, 16, 24, 33 games a season before that. He has missed 10 games before and everything. So that doesn't count, right? So apparently he becomes a Wolverine since he has joined Chelsea. Before that, he was Tomiyasu, basically. That's what they're saying, right? That's what I'm getting from this. basically. Like, make it make sense. Serious talk. Make it make some bloody sense. It's pure and utter crap from that point of view. Let's be real. Like, if you talk about injuries, talk about the whole injuries, not just Noni Madueke missed just 13 games since arriving at Chelsea. Talk about his whole injury history, literally, not just since arrival in 2023 at Chelsea. Talk about his whole injury history. And if we look at PSV games before he joined Chelsea, he has missed 20 games in 22-23 season. He has missed 33 games, not 19, 33 games in 21-22 season. Then he missed 10 games in 2021 season, and he missed 2 games in 18-19 season. So that is a bit disingenuous, isn't it? If we are looking from that point of view. Okay, let's move on to next one. Christian Mosquera has not been injured. Christian Norgard, that's the next one. How about Christian Norgard? How injury prone is he? Well, I mean, yeah. Last season, he missed 7 games. Season before, he missed 9 games. Then he was injury-free for 2.5 years. Then he missed, holy crap, ankle injury. He missed 37 games. Then he went 1 year without injuries. Then he missed 2 games. And now before that, I kind of don't count it. Let's be real. So technically, this article is actually somewhat true. But if we look at Madueke, it's pure and utter crap. Let's be real. I'm not going to lie. It is pure and utter crap to some extent. But this extensive research is actually kind of nuts. Oh, this is nuts. This is nuts numbers. This is nuts numbers. Big up Dio. Hope you're doing well. Big up Dio, my guy. Norgard gonna get fatigue injuries because he never played at UCL level in his life. He's already over 30. Yeah, that is also a big thing. Also a big thing. Vigilante, right? Big up Vigilante. Put it Vigilante's what's its face? Link in the chat, people. Is there AJ? Put Vigilante's link in the chat. Go just show him some love, people. Big up, people. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Regardless, he's at Sunderland. How does it matter? Oh, we're talking about Xhaka. Big up Vigilante. Hope you're doing well today, my guy. Big up Vigilante. Hope Sunday is treating you well. Big up, big up, big up, big up. Look at these numbers. Look at these numbers and tell me what you think. Serious talk. Serious talk. Look at these numbers and tell me what you think. Arsenal injuries. Nah, this is wild. Yeah, here is Vigilante's link. Go subscribe to Vigilante as well. Covers football on one channel and does gaming on the other channel. Put both links in the chat, AJ, if you can, please. Norgard won't play in UCL unless Zubimendi or Rice are injured. And here is Vigilante's where he talks about sports. Here is the sports channel. If you can't already, go show him some love. And here is his gaming channel. Go show him some love as well, people. Norgard won't play in Champions League unless Zubimendi and Rice are injured. Oh, I think he will play in Champions League. I think he will. I assume that he might get minutes against maybe lesser opponents. Like, you remember last year we played Girona, Donetsk Shakhtar, Dinamo Zagreb, and everything. If we play teams like that, he actually might start some games. He might start some games. Exactly. Never say never. Justin Bieber settings and all this stuff. But yeah, these numbers are actually kind of wild, if you ask me. For Arsenal, Leandro Trossard averages 0.6 goal involvements. This is all for the stats nerds out there. Oh, yeah. 100% for games that matter. In the big games, he definitely is not going to play. Like, that is a given unless somebody is injured, 100%. And to be honest, I wouldn't be shocked if, Mikel Arteta plays Havertz in the midfield instead of him, by the way. 20 likes, big up, people. If we can push it up to 25, 30, forever most grateful, people. Much love, everyone. Surely injuries are mostly bad luck. I do think, however, that Arteta overplaying players made them more prone. Yeah, 100% fatigue sets in. And at some point, muscles have to give. You cannot drain them. It's like with nature. You cannot chop down every single goddamn tree in the world and then complain that you don't have enough wood to build a house. If you take something, you need to also put something back into place. So with Arsenal, the biggest issue is Arteta has overplayed them. And that was 2 years ago. There was a stat. It was March or something like that. Most games played by players. And there was a top 10, most games, right? Premier League players. And 7 out of those 10 players were Arsenal players, by a mile as well. Some had played 50 games, some were 45, 48. The closest one was KDB with like 41. And that is also because of that. Like there were some nuts numbers. Arteta doesn't rotate most of the players because he doesn't have anyone to rotate with, but that's again on him. If NordVPN can't even play a Champions League quarterfinal against, we should have loaned Paulinho. I get it, absolutely get it. Big up Gary, big up the DVTT, big up Gary, big up. 22 likes, people. Massive thank you, legends. You all are legends. Like and subscribe, people. Hope this season no more injuries, so hopefully. But yeah, back to these analytics. Let's just put it that way, since people love a statistic in the world, right? For Arsenal, Leandro Trossard averages 0.61 goal involvements per 90 as a starter and 0.84 as a substitute. So basically, as a substitute, he is better. Gabriel Martinelli, though, manages again 4.9, 0.49 as a starter and 0.56 as a substitute. Do you see the difference, though? Martinelli as a starter or as a bench player, there is no big difference. 0.07 points. If you look at Trossard when he comes off the bench, his productivity increases by 30%. Not 30. 84, 61, by 25%. Well, if we look from 100, then it increases by 20%, something like 23%, sorry. It increases by 23%. That's actually some mad increase, if you ask me. Like, in those terms, seriously. I'm a big fan of Jakub. Jakub hasn't been replaced, definitely. I think also the style has changed. It's actually kind of nuts. If Arteta is such a stats manager, as they say, these numbers should be proof enough for him to sack both these bums. But of course, for some reason, they get passed. Like with Trossard coming off the bench as a substitute, 0.84 goal involvements, that's actually pretty good. From a sub, if you ask me, if you get a odd point every game or every game and a half, that's actually not bad for Trossard. The issue is Martinelli on 180 a week. He's on 180 grand a week. And it doesn't matter if he starts or holds the bench and comes on as a sub. His production is the same. Every 2 games, on average, he gets a goal or an assist, which is a big worry. Trossard gets it almost every other game. Like, that is a big difference. Big difference. Martinelli is on 180 and producing 0.49. Yeah, not even half a point. Goal involvements as a star, not even close to being good enough to justify those wages. This guy, exactly, that is the biggest thing. If you look per player per amount of games he starts, and then for the wages he gets, Leandro Trossard gets half, literally half. He's on 90 grand a week of what Martinelli gets. Yet his output, points-wise at least, statistically, as all the top goodness love a good stat, is better as a starter or much, much better even coming off the bench, which would indicate that obviously he's better as a starter and from the bench than Martinelli, which means at the end of the day that if you put him on the bench, you should replace Martinelli and sell him. That would indicate that to the maximum extent. Martinelli is a Brazilian Conor Gallagher. Well, you say that, but Conor Gallagher actually somewhat decent for Atleti to some extent. I fully agree with that. Why I have been saying for him, for Lookman, yeah, just sell him and get Lookman, yeah. I definitely keep Trossard over Martinelli. Yeah, stats back it up as well, especially off the bench. But he'd still be like a third choice for me, need to get better. What are Madueke's numbers? Oh, I don't know that. Definitely don't know that. Let me check. Because Madueke was absolutely bad. Madueke wasn't great. Madueke wasn't great, if I'm not mistaken. Noni Madueke's scouting report per 90. It's not great. Genuinely, it is not great. Madueke's stats per 90. Non-penalty goals, 0.31 per 90. Non-penalty goals, non-penalty XG, 0.43. Shots total, 3.54 a game. It's worse than Martinelli's, by the way. It is worse than Martinelli's. Just putting it out there. See, in 2024-25 season, Noni Madueke averages 0.34 goals per 19 minutes and 0.24 assists per 90 minutes. It is worse than Martinelli even. It is actually worse than Martinelli has, which is a big worry if you ask me. It's a big worry. Because if he is our number one left winger, per se, if we are looking at it on that point of view, given that we paid 52 million, and I don't think he's going to be a backup just for 52 million, it is a massive worry. This is why I hate always the energy Saka gets and not Martinelli, and they both developed at the same time. Remember, Saka broke in at left back, exactly. And his levels above Martinelli, exactly. And the nuts part is, it hasn't even mattered how Mikel Arteta changed the tactics, system and style, how we play. Saka is actually that good that he actually, despite all these changes, has output. Martinelli has had one great season where we were playing attacking football in open spaces, which we all have seen Martinelli thrives at, and we have never done it ever since. We have never, ever done it ever since. Let's be real. I think it's quite a bit on Mikel Arteta, but obviously on Martinelli himself. Plus, injuries didn't help as well, and his confidence is in the gutter as well. Trade Gabriel Martinelli for Lookman and trade Trossard for Visa. There are no trades these days. These days, trades are no improvements for anyone because you don't get money to help with PSR, FFP, and all that crap. You will see less and less, if not none, trades. There are almost none of them already as well. Madueke numbers are minus 20. You're talking about degrees outside, or you're talking about stats here, Vigilante? And that's what I mean, Robo. Martinelli would do well outside the Prem, but Gallagher was similar at Chelsea, chicken running with the head cut off. Yeah. But we have seen Martinelli do good at Arsenal. That's the nuts part. And to be honest, that's where we judge him from. Because we have seen how good Martinelli can be. Seriously. We were even talking about the fact that if he improves even on that, we should be winning the league with our eyes closed to some extent. If we get a striker added to top of that. But we have never gone it back to ever since. We have never improved on it. And Martinelli has gone worse by season since then. Obviously, it coincides, as I said, with Mikel Arteta changing tactics that totally screws up Martinelli's abilities, making him a touchline winger. No open gaps and spaces. We don't attack fluently anymore. We retain possession, hold the possession, play boring football. Obviously, teams play low blocks now. That also doesn't help Martinelli because let's be real. The 22-23 season, we caught off whole league off guard. Nobody expected that. Even Arsenal fans didn't expect that. Let's be real. Be honest to yourselves. We didn't expect to do anything of what we did in 22-23 season. And now, since that, it has been total and utter abomination, to say the least. How is the oldest player of those three left wingers the best? Exactly, that is the biggest question. The nuts part is, Trossard, as a starter and as a bench player substitute, has better stats than Martinelli and than Madueke, both of them. That's the nuts part. Martinelli hasn't got Xhaka and overlapping left back support him, and that is on Mikel Arteta, because that was the one season when we did that. Since then, he has changed it completely, and we don't do that anymore. And it has also screwed him up, hence why I blame Arteta to some extent as well for this, for the Martinelli's downfall. We shouldn't have a player that needs that much, exactly. And that is also an Odegaard. We shouldn't have a player like Odegaard who needs Saka to shine, because that was Top Gunner's excuse when Saka was out and Odegaard was here, because when Saka was there and Odegaard was injured, we still were playing somewhat type of football. Saka was still carrying to some extent. Then Odegaard comes back, Saka gets injured, and whole the Top Gunner part said, oh, he needs Saka to come back to be the best of himself. Why does your so-called captain, arguably one of the best players in the team, you need him to have a massive support from Saka, Ben White, a striker, a proper number 8, and all this stuff? Why does he need all this? If he is so good, people say he's better than David Silva, by the way. There are Top Gunners who have said that Odegaard is better than goddamn David Silva. What the hell are they smoking? Serious talk. What on earth are they smoking? Serious discussions. Serious discussions in this regard. Because I have no idea. I have no goddamn idea. Like, it's insane. It actually is insane. Where is it? Where is it? Give me a second. I will find it. I cannot find it on the fly, but there is a tweet that says that Odegaard is better than David Silva according to Top Gunners. It's actually insane. Throw the word trade out the window. Exactly. There you go, AJ. I'm 100% with you. We'll do that. No, they won't. We wanted to get rid of him since the days of the Mudryk. Yeah, 100%. Arteta has tried to replace Martinelli about 3-4 times since then. Even when we had that amazing season, right, in 22-23, he still wanted to replace Martinelli. Isn't that telling you a lot? Martinelli knows his days are numbered and never even shown to improve since then, not even once during this friendlies. Nelson, that's the nuts part. Nelson, who has just come back from injury and surgery and everything, looks better than Trossard and Martinelli at the moment. Yes, but we need a left wing who doesn't need a left back. Exactly. We need players who can stand on their own 2 feet, who can create, attack, score, assist, take on opponents without help, who are individualities who can do it by themselves. But for now, we only have player that needs support there, support there, support there, more support than a house the Arteta is building. Who doesn't need left back, left eight, or striker contribute to attack. Tactics aside, as Arsenal Football Club, all of our players should stand on their own as range of facts. Facts. 100% facts. And we don't have that. We literally don't have that. Give me some of the Top Gunner weed back. Exactly. Odegaard better than David Silva. Damn, I'm stoned most this time, but not delusional. That's a ridiculous second football. Exactly. That is the nuts part. That is the nuts part. Wait. If I could find this tweet, that would be phenomenal. That would be phenomenal if I could find this. Would love to find it if I could. Where is it? 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 Odegaard, Daniel, Bernardo. I don't know. Odegaard phone number. Dauman, Bernardo Silva. I hate this that I cannot find it on the spot. I know I have seen it somewhere in on the socials. 100%. 100% I have seen it on socials. Like, I cannot find it. Sorry, guys. Very, very sorry. I cannot find it. Stuck returned from a grade 3 hamstring tear, and yet Odegaard still forcefully fed him the ball and didn't even. Yeah, like, it's insane. It's insane. If Odegaard is better than David Silva, then he doesn't need the striker to win us the league. Exactly. David Silva, what a player, though. What a player for Valencia, the City. Oh, my goodness gracious, man. Odegaard is the older in this team. Saying Odegaard better than Silva is crazy work. Did that person get kicked in the head? I don't know. But Top Gunners come out with some wild takes, to say the least. Going back to Madueke's numbers makes me think even more how much for waste 50 million that was. Dauman should be Saka's backup. Then yes, Dauman could, when Yeri could, give a chance to Nelson even. I know Nelson, people say his time is numbered, like his time is up. But based on preseason, at least for now, he's one of the best options we have, for fuck's sake. That's the nuts part in all of this. Eze and the left wing are a must on top of that. Exactly. Eze left wing, and if we can, also a left back. We need to stop putting pressure on Max. He doesn't done exactly. For me, Max Dauman, let him be. People already comparing to Messi, man. That's just nuts, to say the least. Let him be him. Let him develop. Let him play. Obviously, I would wish that it was different manager who was he under him, was just so he can develop and play, but that's a different story already. Gelante Asir, people don't think they don't. Genuinely, they don't. 24 likes, people. Big up. If we can push it up to 25 to 30, I would be forever grateful. Big up to 833 subscribers. Big up, people. If you're anyone but Arteta, we have wasted money on Madueke. Yeah, basically. The Top Gunner pack. Oh, that pack genuinely hits differently. Genuinely, that pack definitely hits differently. Can Dauman play in Premier League? Yeah, Dauman can play in Premier League. He cannot play in Champions League. Dauman can play in Premier League. Dauman is Saka back. Arteta is going to use Madueke on the left. The transfer window is coming as it's done for us now. And Arsenal, it's always fall. Yeah, that could be the case. Yeah, could be. Dauman can play, I think. I think Dauman can play in Premier League because is also because when Yeri debuted at Arsenal at 15, Max can play in the Prem but not Champions League. Yeah, because the Champions League registration happens soon, and if you register, if you're 15 when you get registered, you cannot play. If he was 16 when we register him from Champions League, he could play, but he turns 16 only on 31st of December this year, so on basically in 2026, like you could put it that way. Dauman can play in domestic cups. Yeah, he can play almost everywhere, pretty much. Absolute wonderful pack, dude. It's actually not insane. The Arsenal disposition number. I think as I can play on the left. So let me check. Look at this. Look at this. One of the situations. Wait, let me zoom in. Wait, wrong one. I 100% believe Odegaard is better than Jude Bellingham, Camavinga, Pedri, and Federico Valverde. This is the top Gunners we deal with on daily basis. Max Dauman is a New Year's baby. Yeah. Oh my God. He's actually born on 31st. Yep. I actually saw that post the next before Odegaard being better than David Silva. That the headline was "This ain't 2016 anymore. Odegaard's already clear of David Silva." Don't know if it's the same one. Could be. I don't even know anymore. Must be fate. This player came to our academy. Exactly. I know. Can't beat that if the top mutant beat that. It's different, definitely. 100%. It's just unbeatable to some extent. It's just unbeatable. Like, this is insane. This is genuinely insane if you come to think of it. But this is the stuff we basically deal on daily basis, and we see. We see this on daily goddamn basis. Like, this is actually kind of nuts if you ask me. And the nuts part is, right? Here are the what's its face comments on this. Blog them now. I could see an argument for Jude and Camavinga, and dubious as they are, but that Pedri one, right? Because those players are Real and Barca, while Odegaard was seen as not good enough for Real. Exactly. He's not even better than Brahim Diaz. Exactly. Look at the comments. Said, big up Said every single time. Not Pedri. See, the other ones you could see. Federico Valverde also is a questionable one, even though he plays right back. Look, without shadow of a doubt, 100%. You see these comments? Better than Pedri, give you a head of wobble. He's even chatting to Bruno, brothers. Worse than all four. Facts. Odegaard is a top 10 player in the world. I'm sorry, what? Top 10 player in the world, you know? We really went from KDB, Thiago Alcantara, Modric, top 3 to Odegaard, Jude, and Pedri in the space of 2 years. Historic. I'd argue Pedri is marginally ahead, but not by much. He's better than the rest of the easy. Only questionable one is Pedri. He is. Oh my god, I need to turn it off before I lose IQ points on myself, dude. This is that like serious talk. Serious talk. Serious goddamn talk. Sheesh. Dauman will be eligible to play in Champions League 1. No, he's not, apparently. Apparently he... Wait. So you have been with the club since the 15 birthday. So let's be the includes pledge. I think you have to be 16 when you get registered. No? Or is it just like that? I thought it was just you need to be 16. But okay, if you say it like that, if you look at the most wanted, big up to you. Thank you for clarification. Odegaard is good. I'm about to predict 20 assists for him if Odegaard is that good. People just want a reaction from their ridiculous takes. The world is overflowing with them. It's nuts. Swear is nuts for that. Exactly. What am I hearing? Exactly. 100%. But yeah, people, on that note, I'm going to end today's stream on this madness, by the way, because I need to have a shower, to take sleep, relax, and all that stuff. So I'm going to sign off. Like the stream and subscribe if you haven't already. But yeah, people, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you had a great time. As I said, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for being here. Hopefully going to see you all tomorrow on the stream. Hopefully tomorrow we get some good news regarding Arsenal. But yeah, for today, I'm signing off. Have a great evening. Have a great start of the week tomorrow. And hopefully tomorrow brings us a lot of happiness, a lot of success, and a lot of dubs. But we'll see, because, well, being an Arsenal fan, it's never easy. Peace.